What if one missed layup could completely change the conversation around a player? That's exactly what happened when Angel Reese had a chance to give Atlanta the win against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. The game was tied. The ball was right there, and for a split second, it looked like Reese had the moment everyone was waiting for. Then the shot rolled off. Overtime followed. Indiana survived. And suddenly, one possession became the center of a much bigger debate about Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark, expectations, and what it really means to be a star in the WNBA. But here's where this story gets interesting, because the viral version of what happened leaves out some very important details. Reese didn't simply throw away the entire game. Atlanta had multiple chances. Alisha Gray was having an enormous night. Indiana made a major defensive adjustment, and Reese herself actually finished with 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. So why did one missed layup become such a huge story? The answer goes way beyond the box score. The pressure was already enormous before the ball ever reached Reese. This wasn't just another regular season possession. The fever and dream matchup carried all the ingredients that make a WNBA game explode online. Caitlin Clark on one side, Angel Reese on the other. Two of the most recognizable young stars in the league, and a fan base that has been comparing them ever since their college days. That history is important because Clark and Reese don't have to personally dislike each other for the rivalry to become enormous. Their careers have been connected by fans, media, and social media ever since their battles in college. Every big game gets compared. Every mistake gets clipped. Every celebration gets analyzed. And every time one player succeeds, somebody immediately asks what it means for the other. So when the game reached its final possession, the pressure was already there. Atlanta had a chance to end the game in regulation. Rhyne Howard's shot didn't fall. Reese grabbed the rebound. And suddenly she was underneath the basket with another opportunity. This was the kind of look players dream about. No complicated jumper. No desperation heave from half court. Just a chance to finish the possession right at the rim. And it didn't go in. The ball rolled away, Indiana survived, and the game went to overtime. That single moment became the clip everybody wanted to replay. But here's the part that gets lost when the internet turns a basketball game into a villain story. Atlanta had more than one chance to win. After the missed attempt, Naz Hillman had another opportunity late in regulation, and that shot also failed to fall. So blaming the entire loss on Reese would be far too simple. Basketball doesn't work that way. One possession can change a game, but one possession isn't always the entire game. And Indiana knew that. Instead of allowing Atlanta to recover, the Fever took control of the extra period. Caitlin, what if the moment everyone thought would break? Angel Reese actually became the moment that made her even more dangerous? Because that's the part of this story people didn't see coming. A few seconds against Caitlin Clark turned Reese's night into a viral nightmare. One missed putback, one overtime loss, one camera angle showing Clark smiling. And suddenly the internet had decided it knew exactly what the moment meant. But Reese wasn't finished. What happened next was much more interesting than the missed shot itself. Because while social media was turning one possession into a verdict on her career, Reese was already thinking about the next game. And when she finally stepped back onto the court, she had a very simple way of answering everyone. She played. The Fever and Dream matchup was already one of the biggest games on the WNBA calendar. Clark and Reese had been connected since college, and every meeting between them seems to produce another chapter in a rivalry that doesn't even require the two players to personally dislike each other. The attention surrounding this particular game was enormous. The matchup eventually averaged about 2.58 million viewers on ESPN, making it the largest WNBA audience ever on cable, with the audience peaking around 4 million late in regulation. So imagine the pressure. Millions of people watching. A tied game. 3 seconds left. And Angel Reese is standing underneath the basket. Rhyne Howard had just missed a three. Reese grabbed the offensive rebound. And suddenly Atlanta had another chance to win the game. Reese didn't need to create some impossible shot. She had the ball right near the rim. This was it. Except the shot didn't fall. The ball rolled away, Indiana survived, and the game went to overtime. And that's when the internet did what it always does. It took one moment and made it bigger. Clips started spreading almost immediately. The missed layup was replayed again and again. But then another image appeared. Caitlin Clark seemingly smiling after the play. That image became a story of its own. Some fans interpreted it as Clark enjoying Reese's mistake. Others saw it as a completely normal reaction to an incredibly tense moment. And the important word here is interpreted, because nobody watching a few seconds of body language can know exactly what was going through Clark's head. But social media doesn't need certainty. It needs a storyline. And suddenly, the old Clark-Reese rivalry was everywhere again. College clips resurfaced. Old debates returned. Fans started arguing about who had the better career trajectory. People who already supported Clark saw the moment one way. People who supported Reese saw it another. And before long, the actual basketball was almost secondary. But the game itself tells a much more complicated story. Reese didn't have some disastrous all-around performance. She finished with 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists, producing another double-double. What if the most embarrassing moment of Angel Reese's season actually became the moment that revealed the most about her? One shot, 3 seconds left, a tied game against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Reese grabbed the offensive rebound, had a chance to finish it, and the ball bounced away. Indiana survived. The game went to overtime. And suddenly the entire basketball world had something to say. But the part that happened after the miss may be even more important than the miss itself. Because this wasn't just about a shot that didn't fall. It was about what happens when millions of people are watching. When every mistake gets clipped, replayed, memed, and debated. And when a player has to wake up the next morning knowing that one moment is probably going to follow her everywhere. And Reese admitted it did. She later said she didn't sleep after the loss because she kept replaying the play in her mind. She knew how badly her team wanted that win, and she knew she had a chance to finish it. But then she asked herself a question that completely changed the direction of the story. Why let one moment dictate everything else that was positive? That question matters because the internet had already decided what the miss meant. To some fans, it was another example of Reese struggling around the basket. To others, it was simply one missed shot in an incredibly close game. And because Caitlin Clark was standing on the other side of the court, the moment instantly became another chapter in one of the biggest rivalries in women's basketball. But before we get into the reaction, we have to go back to those final seconds. The score was tied at 81. Atlanta had the ball. Rhyne Howard launched a three that missed, and Reese attacked the glass. She secured the offensive rebound and found herself with a point-blank opportunity. There was no complicated play to decode, no defender flying at her from half-court. She had a chance to put Atlanta ahead. The shot hit the side of the rim. It didn't fall, and the Dreams still had another chance when Naz Hillman went for the follow-up. But Aaliyah Boston blocked the attempt. Regulation ended without a winner. That detail gets lost in the